looking so intently at? The Emperor asked Servian, who was staring blankly at her father's status window. His blue eyes, as cold as the wind of the north, pierced directly through hers. It was the cold, heartless gaze she remembered. "You're not running away from me today?" Elderon Erveldot thought, "She's looking at me longer this time. Maybe she grew up a little. I should have come earlier. I'll leave you alone this time, you damn duke." The Emperor walked closer to where Servian was sitting and looked down at his daughter. A heavy silence descended upon the air around them. She could remember what happened until this point, but Elderon Erveldot, favorability plus 100, thought, "Every time I see her, she gets lovelier and lovelier. I can't believe how prettily she sparkles. Is the god of mana playing tricks on me?" As expected, I should celebrate this auspicious day. The festival should be named Mana God's Trick Anniversary. The silence stretched farther. On the other hand, the status window was being too noisy. She didn't know which was more shocking, this or no. This was infinitely more shocking.
My father to me? Really? But why?
Servian's clothes today were luxurious, but they didn't look good on her at all. Well, it's not to the point that anyone should be raving about it. She was terrified of him just a while ago, but seeing his thoughts like this made her fear go away.
I can't believe it. If this is how father thinks, then...
A strange feeling enveloped Servian. Was her father like this the entire time in her previous life? No, he wouldn't have let her die if that was the case. I need to go now. Elderon Erveldot thought, "Is this the limit? But we've been together for 1 whole minute today. I should order a memorial tree to be planted in my palace's garden to commemorate this day." Dreadfully confused, Servian reflexively clenched the skirt of her dress. As soon as the Emperor saw her small, tiny hands turning white, he thought that he should go and come back next time. Feeling his gaze on her, Servian soon figured out the situation.
Come to think of it, you said I wasn't running away today.
If she remembered right, was it at this time of the year that she was hiding from her father? Still, her body wouldn't move at all. It was exactly the behavior of a little girl who was scared. "I'll be back next week." "Yes, Your Majesty." It was then that Sarah's strange status window appeared. Sarah thought, "This week too. Do you have to come here every time? Not much happens anyway." Servian's father seemed to visit every week to check up on her. It must be that those dresses in her closet were meant to clothe her in some semblance of reasonable fashion. "It's a relief, Your Majesty. The princess didn't run away today." Chancellor Hicks, who came here with the Emperor, suddenly talked to him in a hushed excitement. Elderon Erveldot, favorability plus 100. The Emperor wanted Servian to see him off, but he turned away without saying anything. Up until that moment, the floating status window that showed his innermost feelings was still there. Wait, if you go like this, then... Servian could hear everyone around her stifle their astonishment. Her small, dainty hand entered their side, holding the Emperor's collar with all her might. "What's wrong?" Servian took a small breath. She couldn't believe what she'd just done, grabbing the Emperor's collar without permission. She didn't know why he wouldn't just push her away if he didn't like it. However, she managed to pluck up the courage to do so after looking at the status window. Elderon Erveldot moved. "My daughter! I'm so touched!" "You know how to grab collars with your small hands. Now that I can see them closer, I can see that your hands look like mine. Servian's hands are so cute that I didn't notice." I know he doesn't sound like that. Maybe the status window was just a fever dream. But if it was real, then...
If it is, Then I want to confirm. Why was it like that in the past?
She needed to talk to him very clearly and very coherently from now on.
Maybe the future can be changed.
Give her a minute. She needed to speak like a well-educated princess, formal, calm. But then something unexpected came out of her lips.
Bread.
That's not it. What breath? She was overcome by embarrassment. What she was trying to say was,
Your Majesty, please allow me a moment of your time. I want to have tea with you.
no matter how unsynchronized her body was with her mind, where on earth did breath come from? At that moment, the Emperor's eyes became harsh at her sudden exclamation. The status window didn't show up this time, so Steven let go of his collar at once, doubting herself. She needs to shut herself up. She just made her father mad. Are the princess's meals insufficient? But contrary to Servan's concern, the Emperor's heated gaze settled on Sarah instead. It was Sarah who was practically starving her. The lady in waiting's plump body trembled and her status window kept flickering, revealing her unease. That's not the case, Your Majesty. Then why is his servant looking for bread at this hour? The Emperor's wrath was solely directed at Sarah. Bewildered, servant clasped her hands together and clenched tight.
You're not mad at me?
Just then, in her periphery, a status window popped up in front of Hicks, who was standing next to the Emperor. Hicks, occupation, Chancellor, level 89, favorability plus 10. Servant looked up in a daze, but Hicks was looking elsewhere. Then his status window changed. Hicks thought, Phew! I almost got caught staring at the princess. I shouldn't surprise her because she's so wary around people. By the way, her hands are really cute. Servant could only gape wildly. What's wrong with everyone? Princess, do you want to have dinner with His Majesty? Sarah stuttered nervously. Servant felt her body flinch at the mention of dinner. She remembered that she really hated dinner when she was young. Sarah thought, Shit, you're killing me here, but we'll see. You're scared of dinner time, aren't you? You're in big trouble now. Even Sarah seemed to know this well. Thanks to this, Servant confronted it again. The status window really was telling the truth. Is that so? It will be difficult. Alderon Erveldot, favorability plus 100, favorability plus 100. For someone who said he'd be inconvenienced, his status window sure expressed otherwise. I'll check my schedule, then I'll let you know. Elderuan Erveldot, favorability plus 100, favorability plus 100. It keeps going. Servant watched her father leave her palace with a baffled expression on her face. At the command of His Highness Emperor Elderuan Erveldot, the glorious son of the Empire, the presence of Her Highness Princess Servian Erveldot, the little moon of the Empire, is requested at the dining hall. Was it because they're suddenly preparing dinner in the afternoon? Due to the abrupt presence of the Emperor's messenger, the princess's palace was thrown into a state of panic. What the hell did you just do?
Owie, it hurts.
Sarah calmed Servian with an enraged fervor. Because of her rough manhandling, Servian's neck was bent back, and it hurt so much that she started crying. Sarah, it's a good thing I handled it well. Do you know how much I hate it when you don't behave yourself? Sarah, favorability 350. Sarah's favorability went down by 50 from 400 to 350. Servant began to wonder what would happen if that number dropped to 0. Finally, the torturous combing ended. The jittery Sarah left Servant to Ellie and scuttled away. Thoughts. Something big just happened. Something really big. I really won't be able to survive this time. Was it such a huge deal for Sylvian to have dinner with her father?
And where exactly do you go every time you disappear?
There were times when Sarah would rush off somewhere. She did this even though she really should focus on her work as the head maid in the Imperial Princess's palace. Let's be on our way, Princess. Replying without any enthusiasm, Sylvian trudged forward. The unnecessarily luxurious, high-quality dress made it difficult for her to walk. Surely she looked like an ugly ball from afar. Ellie thought, "Oh, Princess, you really look like a lovely lily of the valley." Sylvian apparently didn't look ugly in Ellie's eyes, but she still couldn't get used to the intensity of the maid's thoughts. Anyway, she continued on her way because an order was an order.
This small body is already exhausted.
Princess, shall I call a carriage for you? Sylvian shook her head right away. The Emperor's palace was right around the corner. If she rode a carriage just to cross such a short distance, then she'd definitely be talked about as a princess who treated her subordinates harshly. That had been her reality. Moving cautiously, Sylvian pondered about the dinner with her father. As she walked along the road leading to the Emperor's palace, she finally remembered.
Around this time, I think I often had dinner with my father.
Of course, she had never invited her father first because of his frighteningly frosty eyes. Then at some point, he had stopped eating with her. It's been a long time since you had dinner together, Your Highness.
That's right.
How fortunate, Your Highness, His Majesty is going to have dinner again with you. Thanks to Ellie's words, Sylvian confirmed that at this point in time, they had already stopped having dinner regularly. The dinners with the Emperor, which were halted so suddenly, began again when Sylvian was around 12 years old. At that time, she was already surrounded by many bad rumors. Ellie thought, really, it's such a relief. For the first time since Sylvian started seeing the status will, Ellie's thoughts were uncharacteristically gentle. It seemed like she was genuinely relieved. Sylvian decided not to think about it deeply, but then again she remembered something.
Doesn't Ellie have a sibling who's sick?
When Sylvian found out about it before Ellie's sibling had already passed away, it lingered on her mind for a long time because Ellie, who had always been strict with Sylvian, laughed bitterly when she talked about her deceased younger sibling.
Where is Ellie's family?
After asking casually like this, Sylvian immediately regretted it. She wanted to ask more carefully, but children couldn't keep their curiosity to themselves. I have one younger sibling. Ellie, who hesitated with great difficulty, continued talking. Who's a bit sick.
I'm sorry.
It's alright, Princess. Ellie, febrility plus 20, mood point. It's a good thing that Sylvian apologized right away. Seeing the maid's rise in febrility, it seemed like Ellie really was fine. However, Sylvian still felt sorry for bringing it up. He spoke up as if to change the subject. By the way, His Highness the Crown Prince shall be joining you today. Recalling the memory of her indifferent older brother, Sylvian clenched her face secretly. Sylvian and the Crown Prince had different mothers because she was a concubine's child and because there were so many bad rumors about her, she couldn't do anything about her brother's disapproval.
The Empress too?
Nonetheless, she still looked for the Empress. She wasn't her real mother, but she had always been kind and warm. Her Majesty the Empress said she won't attend dinner tonight. If the Empress was there, then the atmosphere at the table would have been a little softer. Hiding her direction, Sylvian only nodded. Your Majesty, Her Highness Princess Sylvian has arrived. Come in. Upon her arrival at the Emperor's palace, the chief attendant announced her presence. For some reason, Sylvain was led to a palace that wasn't small in the slightest. It was the room of Mana, where state guests were usually received. Sylvain was very nervous. She knew that she might not leave today's dinner unscathed. Sit down. Elderon Erveldot, February plus 100. In the middle of the big room was a colorful table. Sylvain greeted her father in a notably formal manner to make up for her brave mistake earlier.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Elderon Erveldot, February plus 100. Thus, I'm disappointed, so disappointed. Here she was with her foot aching while she curtsied, but Sylvain couldn't believe he got upset. Still, Sylvain thought it was better now that she could see her father's thoughts. In this life, she wouldn't make any more mistakes. She wouldn't let herself get executed again.
Still quiet.
A terrible silence plunged down at the dining hall as Sylvain approached. It was stifling. Sylvain took a furtive glance to the side where she could feel a burning gaze. She wouldn't be received well anyway, seeing as her brother was the one avoiding her gaze. But then, Damien Erveldot, occupation Crown Prince, level 80, February 90,087. Mood, excited to see my sister. Thought, I wanna talk to you. Her brother's status wasn't normal either.